Hi again, everybody. It's Kevin Canessa coming to you from the newsroom of TheObserver.com on this, the 25th day of July in the year 2022. Sure hope you're enjoying your Monday no matter where it is you are in the country. Here in the Northeast, a very gloomy, rainy, humid, sticky day. How much more of this heat can we tolerate? I hope you guys are staying cool no matter where it is you are. I mean, we had the scanner on earlier, and a lot of people were being attended to. There was a whole bunch of people who had heat stroke. So what a terrible, terrible day it's been so far. But hopefully everybody is safe now wherever they are, and you're having a good night. As you do every Monday, you welcome me into your home so that I could bring you the week's news. And as you can see on the right-hand side of your screen, it's this week's front page with Historic Home as the headline. This is from Nutley. There is a home that was built in the 1820s, 1824, I believe it was, that was just put on the historical register in the township, along with a 1962 monument to the United Nations over in Memorial Park 1. And they were both added to the historic registry. This house has, that you see on the front page, the top picture's from 1962, or 66, and the one below it is the current look of the house. Has been through a whole bunch of things. It was also the first place in Nutley that PSC&G operated from. It was actually an electricity transfer station at one point in time. And so it's a beautiful, beautiful place, and the township designated it a historical landmark, so they can't do anything to the place. It will always be there, hopefully. And it's quite old, and if you get a chance, the address is in the store. You can go by and check it out for yourselves. On the bottom of page 1 today, Josh Humphrey, the library director here in Kearney, sent me over some information about a display, an art display he had in June. And lo and behold, this display of beautiful artwork led the artist to paint a beautiful portrait of the library itself. I don't know if I'm using the right terminology by calling it a portrait, but it is absolutely stunning. And you'll see that picture, that painting, in the inside of this week's paper. And it now hangs in the library in one of the corridors. And it is just beautiful. Carnegie libraries are beautiful. And it certainly adds an amazing aesthetic value to the library, which is already one of the most beautiful libraries in the country. But when you see this painting, you'll understand. And when we flip through the pages and get toward the back of the paper, you will see why. As we move inside this week's edition of The Observer, AARP recently gave a grant to the township of Belleville to make it a more walkable township. You see this now a lot when you look for real estate, whether it's for a purchase or a rental, a location's walkability. And the higher the walkability, the higher the favorability is on some of these websites. So Belleville, not exactly known for its walkability, but this grant will help that, and I'm sure it will be beneficial to residents who like to hike around or to walk around, and you'll see exactly what they're going to do with this money that comes from AARP. So it's a great program and another good find from the township of Belleville, with Michael Melham, the mayor, and Anthony Iacono, the business administrator, to be able to have scored such a grant. So check that out on page number 2. And page number 3, 2 people were promoted in the North Arlington Police Department, one from patrolman to sergeant, another from sergeant to lieutenant. And Mayor Pronti gave out his Good Citizens Award to a firefighter who was driving along the New Jersey Turnpike and who absolutely went upon an accident and saw a tractor trailer overturn. And he was afraid that the vehicle was going to catch fire. Sure enough, it did. But before it did, he rescued the driver of the vehicle and got him out safely. So the mayor gave him a commendation, his Good Citizens Award, which he does once a month at a borough council meeting. So check that out. This is a horrible story. We didn't get it last week, but a Belleville man who owns a bodega in Newark was shot and killed by a drive-by shooting. And this is a man who came to the United States from the Dominican Republic to find a better life, who bought the bodega in 2019 and operated it with his wife, who was at work on a Sunday and was the innocent victim of this man's bullet. The first guy you see in the picture is the victim, and to the right is the man who has been arrested and charged with his homicide. He's been charged with first-degree murder. And this bodega owner from Belleville, during the pandemic, would shut down the store once a week in order to feed the people of the neighborhood who were struggling, whether it was from COVID or being out of work or whatever the reasons were. He was a good human being, and he was taken away at age 46. But the good news is the Essex County Prosecutor's Office made an arrest, and they arrested this guy in Kearney. Couldn't find out exactly where it was, but Melanie Ryan told me there was some commotion around 90 Beach the other day, and I'm starting to think that maybe that's what it was, that maybe he was found there. But he was arrested in Kearney. He's behind bars now in the Essex County Jail, and hopefully will remain there for a long time. This one is a good report because I spoke with John Fabula a couple weeks ago, and he told me something was forthcoming. He and the Detective Bureau, Scott McPhee, the deputy chief, who was also the commander of the Detective Bureau, made significant arrests of two people, two more to be arrested, in a major burglary heist. Over $160,000 worth of merchandise was stolen. They not only found that when these two guys were arrested, but they also found a significant amount of drugs and cash in tow. As the saying goes now, and Fabula is going to kill me for this, but in the Kearney Police Department, if you are a criminal and Fabula is assigned your case, you may as well just give yourself up because he's going to find you. He is that good a detective. And he's a prep guy, too, so of course he's good. So the truth of the matter is, great job by John Fabula. I'm sure I'm embarrassing him right now, but it's great work, so you can't help but laud great work, and that's exactly what this was in this case. This is this week's editorial, where we support the Kearney application for a grant to purchase new trees, and Ann Rodriguez writes a letter of thanks as well about the project graduation and all the people who donated, and people did come together and really helped with project graduation this year, so I hope you'll check that out. The police blotter from Captain Tim Wagner is a bizarre one as usual. This lead entry really, is about a couple who got together, and one of them paid for the beer, and the other one sent money through Venmo or Zelle, one of those services, and didn't send enough. So they wound up getting into a fight with each other. One of them hit the other with the bottle. So, these domestic cases are real, folks. And Tim has been sending a lot of them. And, we don't include the names, which is fair to the victims, but it's happening every single day. Every single day. Kearney is not immune to domestic violence. None of our towns are. And it just seems like it's happening more and more and more. And it's an absolute sin that so many people go through this on a consistent basis. So check that out, page number 7, when you can. This is the jump from the Nutley story. And now we're into sports. This young lady is a coach for the New York Giants, and she lives in Belleville, and she's playing tackle football. She's going to a tournament in Europe. So read about that. Harrison High School's boys volleyball camp is underway, or league. I shouldn't say camp, it's a league. And some of the best volleyball players in Hudson County are taking part in it. And this is something here, too, about 3 local girls who are going to Vero Beach, Florida, to take part in what's called the RBI World Series. It is a softball league for young people who are from, I suppose, the inner city, but I wouldn't exactly say the inner city in this case. Quick here, this is a corrections officer who was beaten senselessly by a thug inmate at the Hudson County Correction Facility in South Kearney, and there is a GoFundMe for him. He was knocked to the ground by this inmate who is 21 or 22 years old, and while he was down, he was out cold, and they kicked him and just beat him senselessly. He had a concussion and was in really bad shape. So if you can, check it out, and there's an opportunity to donate there as well. And then there's this other piece, which we talked about last week. This man was magnet fishing, trying to get metal objects off the floor of the Passaic River, and he pulled out a live ordnance from the river, and fortunately nobody was hurt in that case. That could have been disastrous. This is that litho I was telling you about of the Carnegie Library. You may not be able to see it unless you're watching this on a television, but it's a beautiful rendition and rendering of the Carnegie Library, one of the few Carnegie libraries in the United States of America. This is a full-page ad from the Sika Corporation. They're hiring, so if you're looking for a job, check that out. And, of course, we also have 2 pages of classified ads as well. So if you're looking for a job or if you need a place to live, things of that nature, you will find it there. And one final story, I think we might have talked about this last week briefly, but if not, a clerk in the construction office in the town of Harrison has been arrested and charged with stealing $62,000 worth of merchandise from her job. She started in 2015, and the thievery began in 2017, 1 year after she took the job. And that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Observer Live. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today. It's a busy week here. The Junior Police Academy in East Newark is underway, and so we're hoping to stop by there to witness what's going over there with Billy Arizuma, the community police officer of the East Newark Police Department. Billy is a hard-working guy, and he is putting this on for the first time in East Newark, so we're looking forward to that. And, of course, if anything happens during the course of the week, I'll join you live. I should have probably joined you live when the rain was coming down this afternoon because it was really pretty wicked, but I didn't. So next time we will do something just like that. From the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com, it's Kevin Canessa signing off for now, and we hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Goodbye, everybody.